All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com, and welcome to Night Moves for Saturday, December 27th. We know that right here, and we get ready for a great sports betting day. Man, we're going to settle in and get a lot of work done here for Saturday. Hope you're ready for a massive betting card here, including college football bowl games. We have 8 big bowl games here. We're not into the college football playoff just yet. Let's go back old school style with some bowl games here on Saturday. Also, big night in the NBA and NHL. 2 NFL games. Yeah, they do mean a little something here to all 4 teams involved in the games today on Saturday. So, hey, there's intrigue with the matchups, even if they look kind of like bowl games too. At least one of them does with the quarterback situation in the Ravens Packers game. But we'll talk about it and see what we think about it. And also, there'll be one college basketball game I might just pass. I might pass out by the time we get done with this one. So, thank you for joining me here on the show. Really appreciate you guys being with me here. And what a day it was on Friday with some ball games, certainly in college football and NBA. We did have a pretty nice night here in the NBA last night on Night Moves. We had the Hornets and the Magic game to go under here as a winner last night. We also had the Bulls and the Sixers game to go under. We took Memphis here last night, and they rolled pretty well against the Bucks here. And we also had the Utah Jazz getting it done against the Detroit Pistons, and we had the Clippers last night. So we had some winners here, a few losers as well. We'll try to get some winners today in that great NHL and NBA cards here on Saturday. Also, how about the bowl game action here on Thursday with the 3 bowls? We did bring home a winner here on Night Moves last night with New Mexico and Minnesota game to go under. Did it ever? That was actually my only premium there yesterday, was Minnesota to win that game. It wasn't easy, but the Gophers did get the win eventually there in the Rate Bowl, pulling that game off against New Mexico. For a game that had no scoring, it certainly had some intrigue there last night. And we also had a winner with Florida International and UTSA game to go over as we went 2-1 here on the show with our picks. But that Minnesota game, 20-17, is what a catch by that kid there at the end of the game for Minnesota as they won it in overtime. Their 9th straight bowl win. How about that? Minnesota worked so hard to get that second touchdown, take a 14-7 lead. Then all of a sudden, New Mexico ran back the kickoff 100 yards. Actually, they had 2 field goals, I think is what it was. And New Mexico ran the kickoff back 100 yards for a touchdown. So Minnesota did all that work. Minnesota came, and then New Mexico came back with that kick return. But great job there by Minnesota. The all-time record for consecutive bowl wins is by Bobby Bowden and Florida State with 11 straight bowl wins. Northwestern did beat Central Michigan. They beat the pants off them there yesterday. I think we angled it right as far as a low-scoring game was concerned, although I was on Central Michigan. Stone had a nice game there, 3 touchdowns. Central Michigan doesn't help when you commit 4 turnovers there, and the Wildcats won another bowl game. Should have saw that one coming. You guys had a lot of Northwestern in the chat there yesterday. And then at the First Responders Bowl, like I said, we did say go over, right? We didn't know that Texas San Antonio was going to do practically all the scoring themselves in a 57-20 victory. FIU led 14-0, no problem there for Texas San Antonio. Outscored them the rest of the way, 57-6. Roadrunners actually led 31-14 at halftime. FIU went for it on 4th down in the game 10 times. 11 times. I think they were, I don't know, they were either 1 of 9 or 1 of 10 on 4th down in the game. So just a fun one, though, there after the New Mexico-Minnesota game didn't have any points. That one was a wild one for sure. So, all right. And one big piece of news, obviously, there is Kyle Whittingham takes over at Michigan. Man, what an upgrade for Michigan here. Look, I'm not worried. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, this guy's 66 years old. He's a short timer in there. 66 years old. It's not like he's 76. He's not like he's 73. Kyle Whittingham is a good hire for a situation that has been a disaster here with these last, even with Harbaugh, a little bit of a question. So, look, Whittingham 11-6 in bowls, even though they'd struggled, they'd been going to bigger bowls too. So, good job there by Michigan. I saw some takes out there that said, he'll be gone within 2 years. It's passed him by. I think this is the right situation for Michigan. Hello, everybody. Let me say hello to those folks in the chat coming along here for the show, and we'll get started. We got a lot of work to do, so no reason to wait. Got Abel here. He's ready to go with the West Up Parlay. He's got the Chargers. He's got the Kings. Jerry Jones is here. He says Minnesota still undefeated in bowl games, or is it blow games? And LALB says, check out these incentives props for Saturday, including Keenan Allen. He can pass a couple of incentives, says LALB, on receptions and receiving yards for my Chargers there. And I saw also Philip Rivers said he'll be rooting for the Chargers this Saturday and watching the game. How about Nick Chubb? Also, he says can cash incentive with his total offense combined there on Saturday as well in that game. So good job, LALB, bringing us some great information there. Timmy Chushu, hello, nice to see you in the chat. Says the Mac got whacked is what he said. Said Utah Jazz on the money line as well. Sportsman is here and ready to go. And let's see, Timmy also, he's ready to go with the hockey, ready to get back going. Man, we better start the show. But first, hey, don't forget, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. There you'll find our premium picks here for Saturday. Always our best bets are over at Tony'sPicks.com. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. Then click on your handicapper profile page and get signed up. Check out the team of cappers over at Tony's Picks to see our handicapper. Let's see who was hot here on Saturday. Like I said, I had a light night. I had the one premium. It was on Minnesota there. It wasn't easy, but did come home with a winner in that one. And let's take a look and see who was hot here on Saturday, including there's Rod up there, 3-1 with a good run there as well. Let's take a look at a little more fine tune here, see if we can't find some of our favorites in there. There I am with my one pick. You don't see that too often on a Saturday, but did have the light card, and the I wasn't complaining last night about that NBA card. We obviously scored some winners. Al Ninos in there with a win yesterday, and you see the handicappers there over at Tony's Picks. So go ahead and click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up over at Tony's Picks. Grab me a 3-day pass and ride the weekend here with me on Saturday, Sunday, and through Monday night over at Tony'sPicks.com for just $99. Get 3 days worth of my premium picks, and I'll be going strong here with the action on Saturday. So get ready and use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine, here at Tony'sPicks.com. All right, let's get right into the action here, and we might as well start with my team here to get the show going. All right, that's what I like to see with the Chargers here at home, taking on the Houston Texans. And look, we know both teams are looking pretty sharp here for the postseason here right now. I mean, the Chargers are. Texans are, it would take a real disaster for the Texans not to get in here, but they said the Colts, are going to be rooting hard for the Chargers to win this one. The Colts would have to win them both. The Texans would have to lose them both, basically, here for anything to turn around here for the Indianapolis Colts. But first things first, Texans would have to beat the Chargers here. And, well, it is a closely rated game between these two. You got C.J. Stroud in there for the Texans. You've got Herbert in here for the Chargers. And for Josh Herbert, he did say it, and you don't see it too often, guys kind of saying what motivates them or even talking about revenge too much. But, well, there's no doubt that uh, Herbert remembers the playoff game from last year. He's already cited it here. So, yeah, the Chargers, look, they're trying to improve their position. And I don't know if how much more they can improve it here right now. It's going to be hard pressed to pass up Denver here. I mean, I guess they have a chance to do so, but they'll probably be locked in here around this 5 slot. And whether or not that can provide the true motivation necessary against a team that is playing for their playoff lives, like the Houston Texans, who come in just so hot right now. I mean, technically, like I said, they're not going to miss, I don't think, here, but got to win one, and they got to win this one. And the Chargers come in playing pretty well as well here. So Herbert has said it did leave a pretty bad taste in his mouth, the 32-12 loss last year at Houston. Whether or not that can motivate the Chargers, whether or not the true motivation, because they're already in the playoffs, while Houston technically still is not. Can that really bolster the Chargers here to get a win over the Texans? The Chargers are 5-2 against the spread at home this season. Houston 3-4 ATS. Coming in, Houston is a hardcore under team this season for sure. 1-5 as an underdog. They still are underdogs here. In fact, there's a few 1.5s out there. There's even the 2 out there. So it does feel like it's more 1.5 than 1. Although I do see some 1s out there as well. So maybe it's right in the middle here in that total at 39, maybe 39.5 right now. So you can chime in if you want and comment here, and I'll show your picks on the screen if you're in the chat and want to be seen. But I'll make my pick here in this one between the Texans and my Chargers here on Saturday. Chargers playing at home, of course. And look, not an easy task for the Texans. Like I said, they've got to win 2. The Colts would have to lose 2 in order for, or I'm sorry, the Texans would have to lose 2 and the Colts would have to win 2. Basically, the Colts' chances entering this game are 3% to make the playoffs. The Texans are 97% to make the playoffs. And if the Texans win, they'll be virtually assured, while the Colts would improve to 11% and stay alive. But again, it really depends on the game here with the Texans and the Chargers. So, all right, if you want to comment in the chat, I'll be glad to show your picks here right now with the Texans and the Chargers here. What motivation is stronger? It might be the question here. I mean, look, Herbert wants to play in this game, and you got Phillip Rivers, of course. So that I'm sorry, C.J. Stroud. I'm thinking of the Colts. All right, here we go. Teflon Dadon is here. And let's see here. LALB likes the under in this one with the Texans and the Chargers. Teflon Dadon also liking the Texans here. Timmy Chushu on Nico to go over. Kaimi Fairbairn to get over in his kicking points for Sports Fan. And Teflon Dadon says, the Chargers really, they're locked in to that spot. And granted, they could still, Broncos are 13-3. The Chargers are 11-4. So Chargers are still alive to pass Denver. But again, Denver might have a bit of an easier path here, obviously, given the circumstances here in the standings currently. Let's see here what you have. No, Broncos got it. Chargers are stuck. Chargers are stuck here in this position. Let's see here. Abel first quarter under. Timmy Chushu says Stroud goes to work on him here. Nico for an ATD says LALV. All right. Great job, you guys in the chat. Chargers team total here for Abel. So look, both teams. Houston comes in just as hot as anybody right now with their winning streak coming in here. Win over the Raiders last time out. Yeah, they beat them by 2 points. That's not what you want to have happening late in the season. All the struggles in the world just to get past the Raiders here. But that's what happened. Houston's won 7 straight. They're 3-7 against the spread against the Chargers the last 10 meetings here. Chargers have won 7 of their last 8, gone 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games. So, look, I'm trusting Herbert here. He said he wants this one, to wipe the sour taste out of his mouth from that playoff loss. So, I want to take the Chargers here over the Texans. Timmy says it should be a good defensive game. All right. Next up, the Ravens taking on the Packers here in this one. And the Packers favored here at home by 3. Total 38.5. Now, the Ravens are in a desperate situation here for their playoff chances. Currently, they're at 9%, and they need to win here. They're trying to catch. The only way here right now is to try to catch the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of these teams is in, and one of these teams is out. That's what it's going to be right now. So Pittsburgh has the upper hand. They're 91% to get in. The Ravens are 9% to get in. So Ravens need to win these games and hope for the Steelers to lose right now. But the Ravens, obviously, the quarterback situation in this game is the big story for both teams coming in with Lamar getting that back bruised last week, and he's just not going to be able to go. So it's going to be Tyler Huntley. But the problems for the Ravens kind of run a little bit deeper than that right now. Are we really seeing the breakup here possibly of the Ravens, and it's all fallen apart here late in the season? It seems preposterous in a way because of all the great success. But man, the talk is just too hard to ignore here right now with Jackson. Does he really want out here of Baltimore? Is Harbaugh, could he actually, when he's given himself his own vote of confidence, you wonder if he's not nearing the end of his tenure there. Again, the Ravens, they've really failed to come through despite having strong teams year in and year out, not able to get over the hump, not even able to get that big win in the playoffs that they really maybe have underachieved here with Harbaugh over the last near decade here, it feels like right now. So a lot of pressure on Baltimore here, and now Huntley has to go. Now, look, for Green Bay, you might say that now they've got Malik Willis in here, and Malik Willis is also has an injury designation, although he is expected to play, but still, you got Clayton Tune is warming up on the sidelines because Jordan Love has concussion symptoms here, so it does make it a little bit tough. Now the Packers, look, they're still thinking that they can catch the Bears, right? The Bears are 11-4 right now with 2 games left. The Packers are 9-5-1, so conceivably they could find a way. And the Bears are at the Niners here this week. That's not a gimme, that's for sure. The Niners are one of the hottest teams going here right now, and those are 2 good teams on the road. So the Packers have to think here that they still have a life here to possibly catch the Bears and get that division title still. They're behind them right now, but still. And the Ravens, meanwhile, like I said, it feels more like everything's falling apart and the world is collapsing, even though their motivation is greater because they're not even in the postseason. And even if they were to win, they're listed as 21% after that game to still get in. So you kind of see the writing on the wall. It's still going to be tough for the Ravens here to get in. So I like the Packers here to still get it done. Obviously, if they had Jordan Love, it'd be a different story too. But look, Willis is going to give it a go here. Clayton Tune's not a terrible option. That might, it might be tougher if he's forced into the game, but right now it is Malik Willis expected to be in there, and Packers here favored by 3 in the total 38.5. Boy, that's going to be hard to get to that number. Boy, maybe we should have went with the total. Let's see if the Chat All-Stars have anything here in this one. I'm kind of playing the angles here. I think a little bit on this one, maybe more so than the actual trends a little bit here right now. Although Baltimore still just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games, but Packers here too have been pretty bad with spread here 4-9 right now. ATS in their last 13 games, but they are 4-3 ATS at home. Baltimore's actually been a little bit better on the road, but they're 5-10 against the spread this year and 0-2 against the spread as an underdog. So, man, I kind of like that total too. Packers are 2-5 to the under at home. Let's see if you guys have anything here with the Packers and the Ravens here in this one. All right, Abel says take under in the first quarter here. And Josh Jacobs there for Timmy Two Shoes. Derrick Henry, is he going to, right? There's another problem, right, Abel, is, obviously they're going to want to feed Derrick Henry here big time after, I don't know, blowing it, flubbing it up, not giving the ball to Henry when they should have been giving the ball to Henry. Part of the pressure that Harbaugh was feeling with the play calling. And is he just think he's smarter than, just what you're supposed to do with a guy like Derrick Henry? Reports that Henry was disappointed certainly were a little bit overblown. They weren't really substantiated, but you got to wonder if, seeing what we saw with Henry not getting the ball when all they really need to do was, keep on churning, keep on moving the ball with their superstar back, and they just refused to do it there at the end of the game. Teflon Don says he does like the over here. I don't know where the points are going to come from. Although the Packers are at 8-12 to the over, 8-4 to the over in their last 12 games, and 7-5 to the over as a favorite. But like I said, at home, the Packers mostly an under so far this season, and Baltimore 9-6 to the over overall, but just 3 over and 3 under on the road. So they get a little bit more defensive, or more likely the offense this season not as productive on the road. All right. And yep, maybe it's going to be tough. Like I said, it just feels like the Ravens situation. Hopefully, maybe they can repair it. Maybe it's not a big deal, but the momentum out of the locker room, the posturing, if you will, the gait of the Ravens isn't looking very positive coming into this one, despite the desperate situation here. And the Packers with still a slight motivation. It will be tough, I think, to catch the Bears for the division title. But again, the Packers are already in. That could work against them, obviously, a little bit, knowing that they're in, but could improve your position at least. All right, and Chargers and Bills parlay for Rodolfo Torres. Thank you, Rodolfo. LALB likes both games under in the first half and full game. Hey, I guess that's it for the 2 NFL games on Saturday. But it's not all about pro football. It's also college football. On Saturday, we've got bowl games galore here, 8 of them to talk about on Night Moves. Man, and then we still have a 13-game NHL card, 9 games in the NBA. We're going to be here for 2 more hours. I'll be talking nonstop. Abel says he's got the under on both games, trifecta, under first quarter, under first half, under full game. And Rodolfo said the Pelicans hit last Tuesday. All right, let's get to the college football here on Saturday started off with the Military Bowl. Pittsburgh taking on East Carolina here in Annapolis. So, site of Naval Academy here in Pittsburgh. Pretty big favorite here against ECU in this one. Pitt favored by 10.5, total 53 here at the Military Bowl. Pittsburgh comes in having lost 2 of their last 3 games coming in, including a loss to Miami last time out at home, 38-7. Meanwhile, for ECU, they come in here off of a win over FAU, 42-3. They crushed them there. They've been playing pretty well here down the stretch. Pittsburgh's been a solid cover this season with an 8-4. Overall spread record, 5-1 against the spread as a favorite. Meanwhile, for East Carolina, despite a 7-4-1 spread record, just 1-1-1 as an underdog against the spread here this season. For Pittsburgh here, they are 6-3. The over is 6-3 in Pitt's last 9 games. They did go 4-2 to the over as a favorite, but ECU went 0-3 to the under as an underdog. ECU's won 5 of their last 6 after a 3-3 start. East Carolina's also gone over in 5 of their last 6 games. So both teams did trend over. It's just that when ECU was an underdog, they definitely had a little bit of trouble putting up the points, but they were favored for most of the late part of the season. ACC teams were 5-1 straight up against American Conference foes this season. East Carolina won this game last year over an ACC team in NC State, 26-21 last year as a 7-point dog. So kind of the exact same situation here as East Carolina, considerable favorite against an ACC team. And you wonder how that rates. I mean, they obviously were able to do it. Whether or not, Pitt is good enough here. We'll see. Panthers, when they get that offense rolling a little bit, they can be pretty good. So if you guys want to comment here on this one between the Pitt Panthers and East Carolina, starting us off here on Saturday at the Military Bowl for Pittsburgh. Heinz will be in there, and what a season he's had for the Pirates. They'll be having to go here with London Montgomery. So a little bit of a downer here for East Carolina with their offense in this game, and that's allowed the move to come in and go from basically 6.5 to 10.5 here because of Hauser being out of this game now. So they'll be going with London Montgomery here, who did have some action here basically in his running here for the most part. So not to Montgomery. God, what's this cat's name? Let me get it right here, guys. Montgomery, they'll have to rely on him, and also Marlon Gunn Jr. in the backfield to carry the load here for Pitt in this one. Okay, let me go to the chat here and see what you guys have. All right, here we go. Pittsburgh and East Carolina. Maybe it's over here for LALB. Abel likes ECU here, plus the points. Andre's here. He likes Pittsburgh money line and the under in this one. And Sports Fan says Turner will torch ECU on the ground, over 87.5 rushing yards for Turner. Yeah, especially with the status of Reed here. let me see what his status is right now. Reed's done for. So yeah, that's definitely going to up the profile of Turner here. East Carolina pretty good at stopping the run. So is Pittsburgh, by the way. All right, I guess that's going to do it here in this one. So I have Hauser out of this game, but Teflon Don says Pittsburgh first half. All right, I'll have to move on in this one. For me, I'm going to be taking here the under in this one with Pittsburgh and East Carolina. Give me the under in this one. Next up, Penn State taking on Clemson here at the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. Penn State coming in 6-6. Clemson comes in 7-5. The Tigers have won 4 straight coming into the bowl game. Wins over Florida State, Louisville, Furman, and South Carolina. They covered all the conference games, and they covered the rivalry game against the Gamecocks. They also they failed to cover against Furman. Penn State, meanwhile, with consecutive wins over Michigan State, Nebraska, and Rutgers. However, Penn State is 0-3 against the spread as an underdog this season. Still, here for Clemson, they're favored in this game. They went 7-5 against the spread this season. Penn State 3-0 to the over as an underdog this season, and 9-3 to the over overall. Meanwhile, Clemson 4-8 to the under this season. Here for Penn State, they won their last 3 after that crazy 6-game skid in the middle of the season. What a bizarre year it was for the Nittany Lions. They've gone over in 8 of their last 10 games. Clemson had a 3-5 start before that 4-game winning streak. Tigers were just 3-6 as a favorite this season. ACC non-conference favorites this season were 13-20 overall. Clemson did go under in 4 straight. And we'll see, but that weather has to be a consideration here tomorrow in New York. Let's see what we have for that forecast here in this one, because they're expecting maybe some winter weather conditions in this one. So they'll have Grunkenmeyer in there for Penn State. Obviously, he's done a pretty nice job here in those last 3 games. Not throwing for big yardage, but he's gotten better every game. It feels like kind of coming into this one. And I think for me, when you look at this matchup here with the ACC teams, they've always struggled here in this bowl. They always come to the Pinstripe Bowl, and the ACC team is 0-8 straight up and 1-7 against the spread. The Big Ten teams, did play ACC teams 3 times and went 2-1 with a 1-2 spread record here. So I'm going with Penn State in this one over Clemson at the Pinstripe Bowl. Give me the Nittany Lions. I like them outright here over Clemson. And the chat has something to say in this one. Dabo's going to have his team ready to play. Clemson wins. Penn State covers in a close one. Under, says Andre. Timmy says this is a practice game for Penn State. Timmy says, give me Clemson. Yeah, they've got some issues too here with their personnel as well coming in. So let me see if I have the latest on it. Here we go. Okay, so Vizina is in there for Clemson. Just 71 attempts this season. Klubnik can't play in this one. So, look, he's an accurate quarterback, and that's going to put pressure on the run game, though, I think. So, I think the quarterback matchup is, favors the Lions here as well. So, I'm going to have to take Penn State in this one. LALB on the under, Abel's on the under. Hey, there's Detail for You. Nice to have Detail for You in the chat. He likes Penn State here as well. LALB likes Clemson. The Connecticut Huskies taking on Army Black Knights at the Fenway Bowl. Here, Connecticut comes in on a 4-game winning streak as well, with wins over UAB, Duke, Air Force, and FAU, 48-45 in that wild one. They didn't cover in that one, but they still went 7-4-1 against the spread overall this season. For Army here, 6-6 record overall here, but just 2-4 against the spread as a favorite as we come into the Fenway Bowl here with this matchup. Coach Mora of Connecticut, what a job he did, but he's heading to Colorado State now. So Huskies, though, did go 5-2-1 against the spread when the spread was single digits. UConn's lost 3 of their last 4 bowls this year. Man, they played tough all year long, did Connecticut. Their 3 losses were just by 7 points, 3 points, and 3 points. They lost to Rice. Here is their last loss back on October 25th on the road, 37-34, but finished pretty strong here. Didn't cover that last game against FAU, but for Army here, still a 7.5-point spread. Army's last 6 games were all decided by 7 points or less, and they're not exactly going up against a terrible team here and favored by a touchdown. Army is 2-3 against was 2-4 against the spread as favorites this season. UConn won this game last year, remember, beating North Carolina in this bowl game last season. So Army won the last 2 games against Connecticut, 52-21 in 2021 and 34-17 in 2022. But that was kind of before Connecticut has kind of been improving as they have here coming into this one. So go ahead and let's hear from you maybe in the chat with this bowl matchup here at Fenway Park between Connecticut and Army. Connecticut's 6-1 straight up against American Conference competition in their last 7 against that conference here. Go to the chat right now and see who you guys have. Thank you, Mr. Weskers. Pleasure to have you stop by tonight. Timmy says, I don't know if I like Army necessarily as a favorite. Andre says Army wins and UConn can cover maybe the under as well. Timmy might take Connecticut here. LALB's on Connecticut as well. All right. And I think, Connecticut does have, like I said, the experience in this bowl. So I think at plus 7.5 points, I'm going to take the Connecticut Huskies here in this one to cover against Army. Detail is in for Army. Abel likes the under here. Next up, we're going to the Pop-Tarts Bowl here with Georgia Tech taking on BYU. Georgia Tech comes in with a 9-3 record in this one, but they've lost 2 straight here to end the season against Pittsburgh and Georgia at home. They did cover, though, against the Bulldogs, and Georgia Tech was 3-0 against the spread as an underdog this season, but BYU was 7-2 as a favorite this season. They did get routed there at the end of the season by that good Texas Tech team, but did finish with wins over TCU, Cincinnati, and Central Florida. Before that, BYU went 7-2 against the spread as a favorite this season, 9-4 against the spread overall. Georgia Tech went under in all three of its games as an underdog this season. Georgia Tech started the season, of course, 8-0, but then lost three of the last four games. They also lost to NC State there late. Speaking of, tough opponent, and then beat Boston College, but they did not cover. For BYU here, their two losses, both of them were to that Texas Tech team this season. BYU was 6-1 against the spread in games with a single-digit favorite. Big Ten teams did beat ACC. 5 of the 6 meetings were covered by the Big Ten teams this season, Big 12 teams this season. These teams haven't met in quite a while. The favorite has won the Pop-Tarts Bowl in 7 of the last 9. See what you got here in this one with BYU and Georgia Tech here on Saturday at the Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando. Should be a good, matchup of veteran quarterbacks with Bachmeier and Haynes King here. BYU, they still got to lay the number here with them, but I don't mind this spot for them right now. BYU has won 5 straight games against Atlantic Coast Conference competition. They've also won 13 of their last 15 overall and covered in 6 of their last 8 games. Here's some picks from the chat. Georgia Tech here. And Abel said this is in Orlando. And LALV liking the under here in this one. And Andre says BYU too one-dimensional, just too much passing, I think is what he's saying there. And King can outgun him here possibly. Andre says BYU can win it, but it'll be very, very close. And he likes the over here. I got to like the over as well. And I'm going to go over in this one with Georgia Tech and BYU. I think with the two polished quarterbacks here, a lot of experience. I know that total's high, but I've got to think this one's going over. Abel likes Georgia Tech in this one. Next, we're going out to the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl with Miami of Ohio taking on Fresno State. Fresno State won 3 of its last 4 games to close out the season, wins over Boise and Wyoming. They did lose to Utah State, but beat San Jose State to finish the season pretty strong. They did go 6-6. ATS for Miami O. They won 2 of their last 3, but lost to Western Michigan in their finale, 23-13. Still, they finished 8-5 against the spread, but just 1-5 against the spread as an underdog was Miami of Ohio this season. However, Fresno from the weak Mountain West Conference, and this conference has been pretty dismal. They lost again today. They're 1-4 in the bowl games so far. The only game that they did win was the Hawaii game, of course, and that was with a home team there. For Fresno here, they come in having gone 8-4 straight up this season. And Miami O, not only did they go 1-5 ATS as a dog, they lost them all 6 games. Still, Miami of Ohio went 7-3 straight up and 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. Fresno's gone over in 5 of their last 6 against Mid-American Conference competition, but I don't know. I expect the defenses kind of to show up here. It's still a pretty big number. I don't trust Fresno to cover anything here. I don't. They can maybe get out of here with a win, but I'm going to take the under in this one with Miami of Ohio and Fresno at 41.5. Fresno did go 5-7 to the under this year. Miami of Ohio 2-4 to the under as an underdog. The Red Hawks here did go over in 7 of their last 11 games coming in. These teams haven't met since before the pandemic. Fresno State went under in 6 of its last 8 games. Fresno has won 4 of its last 5 bowl games. However, the Red Hawks have covered in 5 straight bowl games. I've got to like them, but I'm going to take the under as my official play here on Night Moves. Give me the under in this one. All right, Andre says give him Fresno State and the under to rock Miami of Ohio. Look, trying to equate the Mountain West as a crummy conference. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily sing the praises of the MAC here as well. This year, the Mountain West was 3-2 straight up and against the spread in games against the MAC. Here's Fresno and under for Abel. Here's under for LALV. And Timmy says he expects Miami to score. And unless Fresno State isn't going to score, he's going to go Fresno State team total under. All right, we're heading to the New Mexico Bowl here in Albuquerque with North Texas here taking on San Diego State in this one. And San Diego State, one of the best defensive teams in the country. North Texas here, one of the best offensive teams in the country coming in. So a very intriguing matchup between these two teams coming into this one with North Texas and San Diego State here. But look, Mestemaker has hit the portal. There are reports that he should play in this game. It does seem kind of peculiar that he would play. If not here, let me see what. I mean, it makes for a huge difference, certainly, in this game. He's such a productive quarterback, and I, kind of expect him to be in here. But San Diego State, again, really top-notch defense, and they will. Denigol, he's out of this game reportedly, and Bert Emanuel is going to be. You remember old Bert Emanuel, and he's kind of questionable. That's why the line has moved so heavily here against San Diego State, because North Texas really is going to be putting a pretty strong team out there. And San Diego State, still the defense should be good, but really the offense, which has already been pretty dismal all season long, is going to be even harder pressed here against this North Texas team. Now, North Texas did lose that big game to Tulane, but they were on a winning streak before that. You have two teams that are great covers this season. North Texas 10-3 against the spread this season. All of them as favorites. San Diego State went 9-3 against the spread this season. They were just 1-1 against the spread as an underdog here. So look, San Diego State, like I said, as good as North Texas has been this season, I still think San Diego State has a strong enough defense to still somewhat limit them from some of the huge numbers that they were able to put up against some of their conference competition here this season. So that's what I'm kind of suspecting here, that it'll still be San Diego State's defense that can keep them in this game. Still, the spread says a lot here, and it still could be tough for them to score or put up any points, especially without Denigol in there. And we'll see about Bert Emanuel. I mean, remember him from uh, his previous stints. He really didn't get in here that much this season, even though there was some expectation. They still have a good running back here in Lucky Sutton and Christian Washington, the former Coastal Carolina uh, player here. So I'm going with the under in this one with North Texas and San Diego State. Give me the under 52 here for sure. All right, and we've got an under here from LALV, of course. Andre says North Texas will win, but they won't cover that increased number there. And Abel says he's got San Diego State to cover here as well. I'm a San Diego State fan, and so that's supposed to be my team here. I'm really worried about this game, actually, in that big spread move, especially with Mestemaker here likely in the game. And not only that, I mean, you have a back like Caleb Hawkins here, who absolutely could destroy in this game if given the opportunity. So we'll see. He's been, obviously had some huge games this season. San Diego State definitely has the defense to stop him, but they'll be going with a lot of Hawkins too in this one. Next up, we're out at the Gator Bowl here in Jacksonville with Missouri favored by 4, total 44 going up against Missouri Tiger, the Virginia Cavaliers here. Missouri comes in off of a win in their last game against Arkansas on the road, 31-17, an impressive win after losing to Oklahoma. Of course, they won 2 of their last 3 overall. Missouri was a terrific favorite this season, going 5-1 against the spread in the roll. Virginia, meanwhile, off of that loss to Duke in the finale, that was revenge for the Blue Devils, remember, because Virginia defeated Duke 34-27 late in the season, and Virginia did go and beat Virginia Tech in their season finale before losing the championship game. Virginia still went 8-5 against the spread this season, including 3-1 as an underdog. Virginia also went 5-8 to the under this season, but Missouri was 4-2 to the over as a favorite. For Virginia here, they're 18-9 as an underdog under Coach Elliott. Missouri here, that Pribula will not be playing in this game. He's transferring, so we'll see. This year, SEC teams were 6-3 straight up, 5-4 against the spread against the ACC. These teams have not met since before the pandemic. Favorites are 6-3 in the Gator Bowl, but I like Virginia in this game to come in here and be able to cover this spread and maybe even win this game against Missouri. Missouri a little bit short-handed here right now with their quarterback situation coming into the game. So let's see what you have here in this one between Virginia and Missouri. Here with this matchup, it'll be Matt Zollers in there for Missouri, just his 3rd career start. Here is Missouri wins, says Andre, and the under. LALB likes UVA. Abel likes UVA here as well. Yeah, I think it's going to be because, without Pribula in there, I think that's what makes the difference in this game. And I'm going to take Virginia here in this one. All right, finally, let's go to the Texas Bowl. And where is it being played? In Houston. We need DeAndre here for this one with LSU taking on the Cougars here. Hey, LSU won their final 2 games of the season, or won 2 of their final 3, beating Arkansas and Western Kentucky before losing to OU in the finale. LSU went just 4-8 against the spread this season, 2-4. Or let's see, 4-8 against the spread this season. They went 2-4 to the under. Let's see, I'm sorry, 3-9 to the under overall for Houston. Meanwhile, they went 8-4 against the spread this season, 7-5 to the over. Houston won their finale against Baylor, 31-24 on the road as an underdog. They did lose to TCU at home in a closely rated game, but they won at Central Florida. They come in here basically alternating wins and losses down the stretch here. This one's in the NRG Stadium. So, look, you're going to have a replacement here for LSU in this one. And it feels like for me, with Texas here, they should be, with the Houston here, they should be in a pretty strong position, it feels like, in this game. Now, yes, seems like a lot going on with LSU because of the coaching situation, bringing in the big hitter in Kiffin here soon. So I think it's a big, problem here for LSU. Just not a lot. Not chaos necessarily. Yeah, this is end of one era and starting another, but you got Houston here at home, man. They're going to win this game by at least a touchdown. I really like Houston to smash LSU here in the Texas Bowl. See what you have in the chat. And hello to Sonny Schlotfeld in the chat. Sonny, nice to have you in the chat as a member of the chat All-Stars. He says he took Northwestern today in that game today. Thank you, Sonny. He took Northwestern live in that game. They missed the extra point, passed on 2. They were blowing them out. Oh, man, that's a bad beat story. Sonny owe me $1. He thinks North Texas, though, will spank my Aztecs. And thank you to Sonny. All right. And Timmy says, yeah, LSU, they've got a new coach coming, though. We know that. LSU, Andre likes Houston there and the under. LALB likes the Cougars as well. Abel likes the Cougars. There's Sonny with his plays. Penn State, Pitt, BYU, and Army. Thank you to Sonny. Sports fan says Houston as well. Too much going on for LSU. Houston at home. And don't forget, they're 9-3 this season, trying for that 10-win season. So, yeah, got to like Houston here. Good things are going to come for LSU. I think Kiffin will do a good job there. Probably take them right to the cusp and then never get over the hump and leave after 5 more years and go to some other destination, whoever's good at that point. But in this one, give me Houston. That's it for the bowls, and we got to keep the show moving here on Saturday. We're going to go to the NBA. Sorry to navigate so quickly here. Wish we could spend more time on some of the bowl games, but so many games here. Let's start with an early contest in the NBA at 5:10. We're going to go over them all here. 5:10 Eastern, 2:10 Pacific, with Dallas taking on Sacramento. Both teams are kind of having a little bit of a bad run here right now. Dallas has lost 3 of 4 coming in. They lost to the Warriors on the road last time out, lost by 10. Beat Denver before that at home, but had losses to Philadelphia and New Orleans before that. Dallas is just 2-7 against the spread as a favorite, but Kings are one of the worst spread teams around. We know that. 4-2 against the spread at home, 4-10 against the spread at home, 10-17 against the spread as an underdog. The two teams have not yet met this season. Dallas is 2-7 to the under as a favorite. Sacramento trends under as well, but I don't know if I can necessarily do that in this game. I kind of wanted to take the over in this one with the Mavericks and the Kings here on Saturday. I might have to buck the trends actually in this game, and I'm going to take over in this one between Dallas and Sacramento. I don't know if I can sell you on the trends, other than Dallas has gone over here and 3 of their last 4 games, all losses here. And look, Dallas is playing really well. They're obviously with Flag. He's really stepping up here of late, but still just 2-4 against the spread in the last 6. Sacramento's lost 6 of their last 7. 7 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone under, but Dallas has gone over in 7 of 9. I'm going over here in this one, kind of bucking my computer a little bit over here as well, but I like the over. Schroeder here for Timmy Chushu. He likes the Kings on the money line. All right, let's run it back with the Suns and the Pelicans here on Saturday. The two teams just met on Friday night here in New Orleans, and what a comeback. What a comeback. Game was kind of back and forth there for a while, but then the Suns kind of take command and took the lead and looked like they were going to be able to maybe even pull the game off or at least cover the spread they were getting, or they were favored by 5.5 in the game. I meant to say the Pelicans were coming back, and still in the end, it was the Phoenix Suns that pulled away for the victory, 115-108, with a big fourth quarter, outscoring New Orleans 34-28 in the fourth quarter to provide not only the win but the cover there by just a couple of points. I mean, they won it still by 7, and the spread ended up mostly around, I think, 5 or 5.5 in that game. So Phoenix ended up getting the money. Now the two teams will pull it right back here. Phoenix has won 3 of their last 4 and covered in 4 straight. They're still 10-2 against the spread as a favorite. New Orleans played well in the game, but Phoenix was clutch in the end. Still, when you got to go back here and take them on again, maybe I'm just saying it because I lost with my pick. Actually, we had the over in the game, and really didn't come that close to the over yesterday. I'm coming back on the Pelicans. I mean, they were hanging in there for sure. They even in the last minute, it looked like they were going to get the cover. Phoenix did a good job to get that money there. And like I said, Phoenix is a very, very solid favorite this year. But the Pelicans are still 19-12 against the spread overall. 12-6 against the spread at home. So, look, I lost with a bet yesterday on the Pelicans. Lost the total here on the show, but I'm going to try them again here, getting the 5.5 on the back-to-back. I think, the Phoenix Suns they've done a great job this season, no doubt about it, to be 17-13 right now. And yes, the Pelicans have lost 2 straight. They're, still 8-24 this season, but they've been a good cover, and they've started to really show some progress here of late. We'll see who's in, who's out, because I imagine with the Pels here, they may have to adjust the lineup a little bit more than Phoenix, but with the game back to back here, I'm going to try New Orleans in this one against Phoenix here on Saturday night. All right, and let's see. Timmy likes flag here, and Andre likes the Suns in this one. Timmy says Brooks to hit his threes. Booker over for Andre. Zion over. Queen and Fears over in their assists. What a young look. I mean, I'd be okay right now as a Pelicans fan here. I'm not saying for this year, and I know that we shouldn't be in the rebuild mode for this long, but this rookie class, I heard, Vegas Al talking about it before on his last show there, talking about Queen, and don't forget about Fears as well. And Pelicans might still have that growth. The fact that they've been so good against the spread this season is still a glimmer of hope. I'm going to try them again. I'm going to try them again, despite my better judgment. All right, next up, the Nuggets. We're taking on the Magic here on Saturday. The Nuggets coming in 22-8, but hey, they've lost a couple games here of late. They went 2-2 in their last 4 games overall. Losses to Dallas and Houston. They beat Utah and Minnesota here, taking on the Magic. Magic are not a great spread team. We know that. Just 13-18 against the spread this season, 6-10 against the spread at home. Denver, meanwhile, 18-12 against the spread on the road, 9-6 or 9-6 against the spread on the road, 15-10 against the spread as a favorite. They've been the better cover here for sure, but still going to lay it here against this Magic team that, yeah, they're not playing totally great here of late. They did beat Portland on the road, they beat Utah on the road, but man, they lost to Charlotte last night, and they're coming in on the back to back, and the Nuggets are a little bit rested here right now. So we'll see. Now Orlando is playing, the back to back at home here. Denver did win when these two teams met just 9 days ago, 126-115. Denver got the win and the cover at home. They also won here last year, 113-100 as a 7-point favorite. So the fact that Denver, they're the rested team, Orlando isn't, and Denver, like I said, strong cover. Orlando, not so much. Denver 20-10 to the over here this season. Orlando 6-3 to the over as an underdog. Denver 17-8 to the over as a favorite. I'm going to take the over in this one with Denver and Orlando. Give me the over here with these two. Denver here, let's see. Jimmy says Nuggets. Denver gives the Magic fits in this game. Andre says Nuggets money line and Joker to have a big game here. All right, next up. The Brooklyn Nets are on the road taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Nets come in here with a record of 9-19. Minnesota, meanwhile, 20-11. But Brooklyn's done an okay job here covering of late. They're nothing better than a 50-50 proposition ATS, but they've covered, won and covered 3 of their last 4 with wins over Milwaukee, Toronto, and Philadelphia, playing some of their best ball right now. Have the Brooklyn Nets over the last couple of weeks. For Minnesota here, we know they're a good team, 20-11 overall, but still 12-19 against the spread. They're often laying too many points to their opponents. Now, they did take the move here. In fact, this number on the screen is stale here. It's 10.5 right now, and maybe they'll blow them out. Total here at I've got the total wrong. Okay, let me fix that. Good thing I checked that out. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, gang. 224 here in this one. Of course, 224, right? Because these two teams are definitely a trend to the under here. You have a Brooklyn team that's gone under in 7 of its last 10, 11-16 to the under as a dog. Minnesota, meanwhile, 5-12 to the under at home this season. So look, Brooklyn has been covering some of these numbers, and Minnesota is not a great number when laying the points, although they did lay the points against the Knicks there, remember, at home, and did beat the Knicks, but the Knicks were coming in there kind of limping around after a tough scheduling situation in that one. So I might trust the Nets here, but I think more so I'm going to trust the under here in this one at 224 in this matchup. Like I said, you got Minnesota, a constant under here at home, 5-12. These two teams did meet back on November the 3rd. It was 125-109. The Wolves claimed another victory and a cover. The Wolves do dominate this series, even though the teams meet just twice a year. Timberwolves have handled the business here for the most part against this Brooklyn team. Brooklyn 1-5 against the spread their last 6 meetings against this club. Also, the unders come in 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two. Minnesota's gone under in 7 straight games, and Brooklyn's gone under in 12 of its last 15. So I got to go with the under here in this one. All right. Andre says Timberwolves will win, but they don't cover, and it's going to go under. Timmy says he's got Naz Reid to knock down the threes. And maybe he'll take the Nets on the money line in this one even. Yeah, Minnesota's won, I think, at least 5 straight on this. 1 and covered 4 straight between the two teams. The meeting here last year was 117-91, but Minnesota was a 21.5 point favorite in that one. The meeting came in April, so. All right, the poor Pacers going to take on the Heat here in this one. The Pacers still dragging along here with another losing streak here right now. Pacers have lost 7 in a row. Miami hasn't been good either. They've lost 8 of 10, and they're gone 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. If anything, Miami's been okay at home covering numbers, 8-7 overall. These teams aren't bad at covering numbers. It's just that Miami has really struggled here of late, 2-8 against the spread. That's kind of ruined their good spread record. Remember, we were kind of rolling with Miami quite a bit this season, but they've given a lot back here of late. But they're going up against my Indy here, who, like I said, this losing streak. They played some tough teams. They played Boston twice. They played the Bucks, lost to them though. Lost to New Orleans, who's been playing okay ball despite a similar record, and they lost to the Knicks, although they got the money in that one. Miami here 5-10 to the under as a favorite. Indiana 3-11 to the under on the road. I kind of think this one's going under with Indiana and Miami here. The series is definitely going over. 8 straight games between these two teams have gone over, but this year it feels like something different is going on in this matchup. Maybe they will run it up here, and maybe that number has it built in that 8 straight have gone under. But like I said, just consider Miami here and Indiana have been solid unders this season. So I'm going to overlook that heavy trend in the season series between these semi-frequent opponents. And I'm going to go under here in this one. All right, Andre says to Heat money line, take the over when Hero's not playing and the under when he is playing. And we did see Hero miss that game here last night. Make no mistake, Miami is on a back-to-back, but so is Indiana here. That might be something to consider, but still Miami laying 9.5 right now. And they haven't been great covers necessarily, so we'll see who's in there here. Hero is listed as questionable, and so is Bam in this one. The Milwaukee Bucks are taking on the Chicago Bulls. NBA action for Saturday night. Chicago comes in here hot again, man. This team has been inconsistent to say the least, but right now they are getting it done. Another win there last night. They were clutch down the stretch in a close game against Philadelphia, but they pulled away late. It was a back and forth game, a good game for sure on the Amazon game of the night there. A really good game. Milwaukee here, meanwhile, continues to struggle, no doubt about it. They've been losing games here. They're 6-9 against the spread on the road, 4-11 against straight up on the road, 5-13 straight up as an underdog. But the one thing about the Bulls, granted, they got it done last night, but they are not a terrific favorite. Just 2-11-1 against the spread as a favorite here. So that's pretty tough to ignore, and I think the Bucks actually might be able to hang in here in this one. These two teams have already met a couple of times this season, and the Bucks won them both. Now that could spell revenge, obviously, but in a game with mediocre teams and the Bucks definitely struggling here right now, maybe there is a little something. Yeah, we know the Bucks are not playing at full strength right now, but the move has clearly been on the Bucks here. In this game, the Bulls open 6.5, and I've got to make the adjustment here on the screen because we're seeing we're seeing it down to 4.5 at circa right here. I'll call it 5. It might even be 5.5. You could shop for I'm not the shop for the line guy here, I'll tell you that, but this one does have a couple of different lines out there right now, ranging from the 4.5, 5, 5.5. You can even find a 6 right now at some books. So Clearly the move is on the Bucks here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Bucks in this one. I will note though, as far as the total's concerned, these two teams, you have a Milwaukee team here 5-10 to the under on the road, Chicago 4-10 to the under at home, and they see the total here 234. That's pretty high, man, and might see that one on my premium list. So let me take the Bucks here plus the points in this one. And let's see here. No Giannis, no Bucks. Bulls money line. Giddy over in his points. Thank you to Sports Fan and Andre on that one. Next up, the New York Knicks on the road taking on the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks here are in a big-time losing streak right now. Knicks here coming in off of a win. They've won here last 2 nights ago, beating Cleveland. But the Knicks are not covering spreads. I mean, they are at least winning a few games. But, man, they're a tough cover right now. Just 4-9 against the spread on the road for New York coming in. Now Atlanta's 4-11 against the spread at home, struggling here, 5-10 straight up at home right now. But the Knicks have failed in 5 straight. The Hawks have failed in 7 straight. What's going to give here in this one? Hawks at least are 9-6 against the spread as an underdog, but the Knicks are 17-10 against the spread as a favorite. But we know they're one of the best home favorite teams in the league here. And they're laying a modest little 6 right here, right now. And it did go up here from 4.5. I'm even seeing some 6.5. So the move is on the Knicks here right now. They've won 3 straight in the series and covered 2 of those, including here last April, 121-105. The 2 teams have not met yet this season. The Knicks are 15-12 to the over as a favorite here. I don't know if this one's necessarily going to go over. I'm going to take the Knicks here on the road minus the points. I'm going to go ahead and lay it with the Knickerbockers here in this one against Atlanta. Knicks money line for Andre says take Trey's assist over, Towns over, and Brunson over in his points. Me and Andre bringing it to you right now here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. We're on Night Moves. Yeah, we're moving quickly with this big card. We still got a huge NHL card, so I hope it's okay. We're going quickly here. How about the Jazz taking on the Spurs in San Antonio? Man, the Spurs have been great, haven't they? What a story this season. We knew they'd get here eventually. We didn't know they'd be here this quick. 23-7 right now. They're on a big winning streak. They basically the talk of the league after knocking off the Thunder 3 straight games here right now. Spurs have won 5 straight, covered 6 straight at home. Utah just 1-4 ATS against San Antonio, 1-4 straight up in their last 5. Utah's covered, though, 5 of their last 7 games overall. They're still just 4-8 against the spread on the road. Spurs are 9-3 against the spread at home. These 2 teams played back in October, and the Spurs won just 134-130. Got division rivals here. And Utah, though, on the back-to-back here, played Detroit last night and won 131-129 at home in a wild one. Hey, we were on Utah in that game last night over Detroit. So for San Antonio here, though, they're covering like nobody's business. Now, to make a similar game here, San Antonio did host Washington as a 15.5-point favorite, and they won and covered at home 119-94. A few nights later, they were on the road at Washington, laying the same 15.5 and could only win by 11. But at home, they won by 25. On the road, they did not cover. So you could put a little bit of stock into that here maybe. But, Utah, they've done an interesting job here in some of their games. And when they have their star in Markkanen, it seems like it is a little bit better. We're seeing this total here drop big time right now, right as we speak, down here to 244. 4 right now at some books. And well, this these two teams are kind of known for their overs, especially Utah. They're 17-9 to the over as an underdog this season, but you got to trust this move actually. And I've got the under as well here, 244 in this one between Utah and San Antonio here on Saturday night. All right. Andre says the Spurs are balling. They draft well. Pop's showing up there at the facility doing, hopefully. We'll see about that. Okay. Sports fan says scary total is on the over in the first half. One more in the NBA here on Saturday. Big card. We've got the Cavaliers taking on the Rockets. Everything's done at 8:10 Eastern, 5:10 Pacific as far as these starts are concerned. 6 starts go off at the same interval here. And you have Houston a favorite here by 5 total. 234.5. We're seeing a dip down here to 4.5 a little bit right now with the Rockets coming in off of a win a couple nights ago over the Lakers. All of a sudden, the Lakers are trying to figure out what's wrong with their team. Cleveland, one of the worst spread teams in the league, 10-22 against the spread overall. Rockets are 16-12 against the spread. Feels like a good spot here for the Rockets the way they're playing right now. Yeah, they lost to Sacramento and the Clippers at the end of a road trip there before Christmas, and then did get the win over the Lakers on Christmas. So this is a Houston team that has beaten Denver and the Lakers here on that road trip before returning home in this one. Cleveland, meanwhile, just lost at the Knicks 126-124, but they did get the number in that game. Houston 16-10 to the over as a favorite. Cleveland's 9-4 to the over on the road. I don't know. This is a high total, man. I'm going to take the Rockets here in this one, but I'm not sure I can go over with these two, even though that's kind of what the trends might point out. These two teams met in November. It was only 114-104. The Rockets got the win in Cleveland and got the money in that one. So I'm going to take the Rockets here to win this one, and that's a look at the NBA. Timmy says Rockets at home. He'll take Houston, but Andre says Cavs and the points, although he likes Sengun over with his points and assist prop. That's it for the NBA. I've got a 13-card, 13-game NHL card, so don't wait. Let's keep it going, and we can finish this one before the top of the hour. NHL resuming action here after the holiday break on Saturday, and they'll get it started with an afternoon card, late afternoon card here. No early games. You do have 6:07 Eastern, 3:07 Pacific to start us off with the Rangers at the Islanders. The Rangers are on the road. Look out. You know what that means. Islanders have actually lost 3 of their last 4 games coming in. Rangers have won 3 of 4, including a big win over Washington last time out before the holiday. Rangers have given some back here a little bit with still a 14-6 record on the road. Islanders 11-7 at home this season. They're a pretty good home proposition, actually. So this one, I kind of said on a lot of the shows, right? I was just going with the Rangers on the road every time, but the Rangers have started to lose a few games on the road, and I think that was to be expected. They're obviously, struggling this season. If you can't win these home games right now, and they're kind of hard pressed to even get out of the cellar a little bit. I know they've actually moved up here now to 5th place, so they're clear of a few of these teams, and the Islanders here, meanwhile, sitting a couple of points ahead of them only here. But you got to look, I think, at the total. And where's my graphic? There we go. With Shesterkin and Sorokin expected in this one, I think you got to look to the total with these two. To me, this one just screams like an under here as maybe the biggest under on the card. I know it's obvious here. You're dealing with two teams who are 30 and 46 to the under this season. Islanders are actually 8-5 to the over as a favorite, but the Rangers have been going under big time here of late. Actually, the Rangers in this current run are five under in 7 of their last 10. The Islanders have gone under in 5 straight games right now. Islanders are just 2-5 in their last 7 games at home against the Rangers. So, yeah, this is always maybe a spot for the Islanders here. The Rangers starting to give some back, but Island Rangers have won 5 of their last 6 against the Islanders. Give me the under here in this one with the Rangers and the Islanders. They did meet back in November. It was 5-0. The Rangers won that one. So give me the Islanders won. I'm sorry, the Islanders won that one, but I'm going to take the under in this one. Timmy Two Shoes likes the over. Andre's going with the Rangers. Timmy says typically no scoring in the first, but then in the last 2 periods, the goals are coming. Next up, Minnesota taking on the Winnipeg here in this one. And Winnipeg comes in here with a 4-game losing streak right now. Losses to Ottawa, St. Louis, Colorado, and Utah here. Connor Hellebuck in the net. Minnesota here has actually lost 2 straight as well, although they were to Colorado and to Nashville at home. Still, Minnesota 22, 10, and 6 overall. Been pretty solid team here, and this is a good series actually for them against or a bad series actually for them against Winnipeg. Winnipeg's won 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams coming into this one, but man, this Minnesota team is so good right now. It feels like they've gone 7-2-1 in their 7-2-1 in their last 10 games overall. Winnipeg's dropped 7 of 8 here. I know that the Jets own this series, but oh man, Minnesota under in 13 of their last 20 coming in. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under here, and I think we got good goaltending here. You got the Wall of St. Paul in there for the Wild. This one's, man, whoa, this one's tough. But, oh, man, let me hear from the chat. I might be wimping out here in this one. But here we go. Could this be the matchup for Winnipeg here? I don't know. It's the one team that they really handle well. Timothy Hawk is here. It's hockey time for Timothy Hawk, and he's got the Wild Jets puck line for Andre. And Timmy's, they got to win some. Do the Jets, but again, they played well against Colorado. They played well against Utah on the road. But Minnesota, they do seem a notch above right now, it just feels like. All right, and let's see here. 3-2 Wild here. All right, maybe Winnipeg could go under. I kind of want to go over here. Winnipeg 7-4. The under is to the over is a dog. Okay, I'm going to have to make my call here in this one. These two teams have met a couple of times this season. Minnesota won here already 3-0 back on November 23rd, but Minnesota lost at home 4-3 back in October in this matchup. So, all right, I'm going to take the Minnesota Wild in this one. I'm going to say they can buck that 1-9 run at Winnipeg here, and I'm going to take the Wild. But that is certainly an interesting stat. Tampa Bay on the road taking on Florida here. Tampa Bay coming in with a couple of wins into the holiday over Carolina and St. Louis. Florida, meanwhile, been pretty hot here of late. They beat Carolina last time out 5-2. In fact, they own 2 wins over Carolina in their last 3 games. They did sandwich a loss to St. Louis in between those, but Florida's playing well here of late, winning 8 of their last 10 games overall coming into this one. Tampa's lost 5 of their last 7 games against Florida overall, but Florida here, they won 5 of their last 6, won 4 of their last 5 games at home. Tampa's just 2-5 to the under as a dog, but they've gone over here in 3 of their last 5. All right. In this one, you have these 2 teams have already met several times this season. It was Florida winning at Tampa 5-2 back on December the 15th, and Tampa won in Florida 3-1 back on November the 25th. So I like Tampa Bay here on the road. I'm going to take the Lightning in this one to get it done. Give me Tampa Bay here, small favorite on the road with Vasilevsky in goal here. A lot of good matchups here with these spreads. And Greg says 4-2 Panthers. Said that the Panthers are getting pretty serious here right now with their current run. They're starting to heat up a little bit. Reinhart here for Timmy Tushu. And I think also he's going to go with Bennett there. Next up, the Bruins are on the road, taking on the Sabres here. The hot Sabres, man, cool down, Sabres. You're scaring everybody here with this winning streak right now. Is it for real? They've improved here right now to 18, 14-4. The Bruins have lost 4 straight coming in. They're just 1-5 in their last 6. Buffalo's won 7 straight games right now coming in. They're 11-5 at home this season. Boston just 8-9 on the road right now. Boston's 18-13 to the over as an underdog, but Buffalo's 7-11 to the under at home right now. Buffalo has dropped 16 of their last 20 games at home against Boston. I mean, that is a pretty much a 5-year plus sample size, but Buffalo's gone under in 5 of their last 6 overall. Boston's gone over in 4 of their last 5 on the road. I'm taking Buffalo here, despite Boston's overall advantage right now. Buffalo is playing so well, and I'm going to take them here against Boston. Boston actually won the first 2 meetings here this season back in October. Boston won 2 games at home. Buffalo had kind of been owning this, not owning the streak. Obviously, Boston owns these guys, but Buffalo had won 3 straight over Boston before that last year. So I'm going to take Buffalo here in this one. Timothy Hawk likes the Sabres as well. And Timmy likes Boston to get it done. Greg likes the Sabres. Timmy says Boston will bring the Sabres back to reality a little bit. The Red Wings are on the road taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. What a game here, huh? Detroit comes in here with a 3-game winning streak right now. They're 22-13-3. Carolina 22-11-3, but it should be noted they've lost 3 in a row coming into the holiday break. Lost to Florida twice, lost to Tampa Bay. Nothing wrong with that, but look, these 2 teams have been so solid here this season. You got Detroit here, pretty big underdog for as well as they've been playing. I mean, they're the hotter team here, obviously, even though they've had maybe the weaker schedule. They beat Washington in back-to-back games, and they beat Dallas at home. That's not an easy schedule. by any stretch here. So, still, even with this puck line, it is pretty substantial. It's expected to be still kind of a close game here right now with Detroit. If anything, I'd probably prefer to take the Red Wings on the road here at plus money in this one. In fact, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Red Wings here on the road. Yeah, maybe I kind of like the over, but we'll see. Detroit 11-7 to the over as a dog. Carolina has been going over here in 4 of their last 6, but 8 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams have gone under, and Detroit has gone under in 5 of their last 7. Now, Carolina has beaten the Red Wings in 6 of the last 7 meetings at home, but I'm going to go ahead and take Detroit plus $1.50 here in this one. And Greg likes it too. He likes it. He likes the Red Wings here. And also, Timmy says he likes the under in this one. He's got Van Riemsdyk there and Stahl for the Canes. Timothy likes the Red Wings here in this one as well. Right? I'm not necessarily, I don't think I'm interested in this one and taking, I'm getting tired of some of these puck lines that are minus $1.65 when they're plus $1.55 on the money line. I think long term, those money lines, it's obviously going to be the case to hit the money lines, but I think I'd rather take it here in a game that looks closer to not $1.85. I don't want to say closer to a pick 'em or anything like that, but Detroit doing a nice job here of late, and they did. The teams have not met here this year, but Detroit did win the last meeting. We mentioned the hot streak there of Carolina on Detroit, but the last game was a Detroit win last April. All right, the Ottawa Senators here taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ottawa here on the road in this one. They're 18-13-5. They continue to look pretty strong here of late. Yeah, they did lose their final game before the break, a home loss to the Hot Sabres. For Toronto, meanwhile, they did snap their 3-game losing streak with a win at home against Pittsburgh, 6-3. Senators here still the favorite in this one. And Senators here, 10-7 record on the road. Toronto here with a 4-9 right now as an underdog at this point. Now they are still a dog here, right? Just check the odds here to make sure, but yep, they're looking everywhere here. In fact, Toronto opened the favorite, and it's Ottawa now that had moved to the favorite. Now, still Toronto 11-5 at home this season. Should note, Ottawa 12-7 to the over on the road. Toronto 13-8 to the over at home. We know the Canadian teams have kind of been going over this season. This one reeks of an over, actually. And you know what? I think that's what I'll do here, actually. Let me take the over as my play here on the show. I think you can hear it in my voice that I kind of like Ottawa here, but I'm going to make the play here, actually, the over with Ottawa and Toronto right now. Ottawa's gone over in 6 of their last 8 games on the road. Toronto has been going under here big time. Remember, they were on a over streak forever, and now kind of come back down. But I think with this particular matchup, I'm going to end up on the over here with Ottawa and Toronto. All right, and let's see here. Timothy likes the Senators. And Greg says you don't have to bet every game. I'm not coming on here not to pick a game. I'm never going to pass if they're offering me the opportunity to come on these shows and talk about sports and sports betting. Austin Matthews for an ATG. Says Timmy. Greg's got it 4-3 Senators, and Timmy says this one could be a wild one. All right, next up, the Capitals are taking on the Devils here in this one. You got the Caps coming in here, 19, 13, and 5, New Jersey 20, 16, and 1. Both teams in a little bit of a tailspin coming into the holiday. Washington had lost 3 straight, including those back-to-back games against Detroit. They also lost to the Rangers. Meanwhile, the Devils with losses to Buffalo and the Islanders coming in. Capitals still just 4-8 as an underdog this season. New Jersey 10-7 at home here. Allen's in the goal in this one. I think for me, you got a New Jersey team that's 7-11 to the under at home, 8-13 to the under as a favorite, and the Capitals are 4-8 to the under as an underdog. And here you got Thompson going. So Washington has won 10 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams when playing in New Jersey. So really good series actually here for Washington, despite the fact that they've lost 6 of their last 7 overall. It should be noted that New Jersey's lost 7 of their last 8 games at home right now. New Jersey's gone under in 6 straight. Coming in, I'm taking the under in this one with Washington and New Jersey here on Saturday. All right, Greg says he's got the Devils here in this one, and Timothy's with me. He likes the Caps in the Devils game to go under. Chicago Blackhawks and Dallas Stars. Yeah, we got one of these big spreads, but yeah, Chicago, man, it's really kind of gone south here all of a sudden. For all the teams in the league that have been doing such a great job this season, even some of the lesser teams, they've had some streaks. Look, Chicago had their streak, but right now they are on the worst streak, it feels like, of any team here in the league, and it's reflected in the line. And they're going up against a Dallas team. Look, no one wants to necessarily come on these shows and and recommend some big puck line here, but it does seem like right now Chicago unable to fix this at this point and kind of running into a situation here against the Dallas Stars, who are going pretty good here into the break. 12-5 at home, 19-11 as a favorite. They've also here been on a good roll here of late. The teams just met back a couple of days ago, or I'm sorry, teams have not met in a year here. This is the first meeting of the season between these two teams coming in. So Chicago definitely on a long losing streak here right now entering this one. They've lost 6 straight, including 5 straight on the road. 13 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but I don't know if that's going to be the case here. Chicago's been trailing under here in 6 of their last 7 overall. Dallas has won 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams. Yeah, Dallas is 8-22 as a puck line favorite, and Chicago's 24-10 as a puck line dog. But it just seems right now like the run for the Chicago's kind of come to an end. I'm going to have to recommend one puck line today, and this is going to be it. I'll take Dallas to blow out Chicago here on Saturday. All right, and Timothy likes the Stars on the puck line. Greg says it'll be 4-1. Robertson will get an anytime goal without even looking, it looks like Timmy says. And Greg says Chicago's either going to get 0 or 1 in this one. The Nashville Predators will take on the St. Louis Blues. Hockey night here in St. Louis. Nashville's on a 3-game winning streak, and I can't stop betting the Nashville Predators right now. They're treating me well, and I might not stop here in this one against St. Louis. Nashville's won 3 straight into the holiday over Toronto, the Rangers, and Minnesota. You're not getting the best of it anymore. I mean, by the time I get around to betting the Predators, good thing they're winning because the value's kind of out the window. The move's already kind of come in on the Predators, or they might even be a favorite here by now, the way it seems like this game has moved here a bit. And I like them here again against St. Louis on the road. St. Louis, remember, they're 2-12 as a favorite this season. They're still the favorite there. Now Nashville is 7-17 as an underdog. I get that, but actually we're dealing with mostly a pick'em game. And Nashville's 6-7 on the road this year. St. Louis is 7-8 at home. St. Louis is also 10-4 to the over as a favorite this season. Nashville's been mostly an under here, but I'm going to take Nashville in this one. This is who I'm interested in. Nashville's won 4 of their last 5. They've won 5 of their last 7 games on the road coming in. So 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams in St. Louis has gone over here. And like I said, St. Louis does go over as a favorite, but I can't stop betting the Nashville Predators right now, and give them to me again here on Saturday night. Timothy's on the Predators here. Timothy Hawk is. Timothy Two Shoes says Predators and Blues over. And Timmy's got a prop as well. Thanks to the crew here, the soccer crew, the chat all-stars tonight, giving me a moment to catch my breath and show some great picks from some dedicated cappers in the chat. All right, the Ducks are taking on the Kings here in an LA battle on Saturday at the Crypto Arena here with LA at home. Struggling here a bit, struggling to score goals. LA can't score over 2 goals in any game period right now. They just cannot get going offensively here. They're 4-8 at home right now. Anaheim 21-14-2, 4-10 as an underdog. The Kings are 4-12 at home right now. It's a bad run for sure. And 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under. LA's gone under actually in 7 straight overall. Anaheim's gone over in 12 of their last 16 games, and they are 11-8 to the over on the road. Done a nice job here in this one. I think Anaheim might actually be able to get this one. I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the Ducks over the Kings here in the Battle of LA. Ducks won the last one 5-4 at home. The Kings won 5-4 at home back in October. Could it go over here? I don't know if it will tonight. The Kings, like I said, you got to go pretty far back to find a game where they've scored more than 2 goals here right now. So that's not great. I'm taking the Ducks in this one. All right. And Kempe, anytime goal for Timothy Hawk says he's got this one to go under. Man, we're making good time here. 2 hours with you, it looks like, here on Night Moves tonight. Thank you for being with me here. We've got nearly 100 of you right now. I couldn't be more honored to have you here. Listen to me talk about sports and sports betting. Colorado Avalanche taking on the Golden Knights here on Saturday night. Colorado $1.45 on the road. This streak just keeps going, and will it keep going against this Vegas team here at home? Doesn't seem to matter, even with Vegas being pretty decent here, 17-8-10. They are the king of the overtimes after all. Maybe this one will be a regulation draw, actually.
Final.
Colorado, though, on this hot streak, they've won 6 in a row. Again, here they've won 8 of the last 12 over Vegas. Colorado's gone under in 4 of their last 5. 10 of the last 13 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Colorado's 14-22 to the under this season, 7-12 to the under on the road. Colorado did play Utah just 1-0 in that game before the break. Meanwhile, Vegas walloped San Jose 7-2. I'm going under in this one with Colorado and Vegas here on Saturday night. 2 teams met back on Halloween. It was 4-2 in favor of Colorado. They also had a meeting earlier in the month, won by Vegas at home, but I'm going under with Colorado and Vegas here on Saturday night. All right, and Greg says 4-3 Avs, and Natchez here for Timmy. The Edmonton Oilers are taking on The Calgary Flames, NHL action here for Saturday night. Edmonton winners of 2 straight heading into the break, including a 5-1 win at home against Calgary. The teams met on the 23rd. Now they turn around and play down in Calgary here. So, look, Calgary at home, I mean, and Edmonton on the road, look, Edmonton may own these guys right now, but Edmonton has such struggles, it seems like, and Calgary's won 6 of their last 7 at home. Edmonton still won 12 of the last 16 between the two. They've won 4 of their last 5 coming in right now. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone under here in Calgary, but come on, this game isn't going to go under here, is it? 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two overall have gone under, although Calgary's gone over in 5 of their last 7. They're 17-11 to the over as an underdog here. These two teams are combined 45-30 to the over here. But, man, when they get together, it's been an under here usually. I'm taking Calgary, of course, here in this one. Look, I think Edmonton probably gets out to a 3-0 lead, and then Calgary comes all the way back and wins the game 4-3. That sounds like a Greg's prediction here. No, maybe not. Let's see here. Timothy Hawk likes the Oilers. Greg says Flames 3-2. Timmy says McDavid, ATG assists and a power play point. What do you get paid for that? All right, I'll take Calgary in this one. And finally, on Saturday night, San Jose taking on Vancouver here on the road. Look, yeah, you could say here, when you look at San Jose now, they've lost 3 in a row here heading into the break. They've lost 9 straight meetings in Vancouver right now. Vancouver's playing a lot better here of late. They did lose to Philadelphia on the road last time out, but remember, they had won all those road games in a row. Good thing, too. They won 4 straight and then lost to Philly, but they've lost 7 of their last 8 games at home. So they went out on the road, did a good job, but they struggle at home. San Jose, though, 0-9 here, like I said, in Vancouver, 2-16 against Vancouver overall. What a bizarre line here, it feels like. San Jose's gone under in 8 of their last 11 on the road. Vancouver's gone under in 9 of their last 12 games overall, despite the fact that they've been mostly an over team this season, 10-5 to the over at home and 5-2 to the over as a favorite. But 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two have gone under, and I've got this one to go under here with San Jose and Vancouver on Saturday night. Greg likes it 3-2 Canucks. And Timmy says he's got Sherwood for a goal. That's going to do it, you guys, here. I'm going to save the college basketball game, if you don't mind. There's only one game, and I'm going to I think I'm going to have a premium. So just going to leave it at that. Hey, we previewed. I mean, we previewed here 32 games tonight. I don't even know if that's the number. I just made it up, but I bet you it's close. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out here with me. We got an even 100 of you watching right now. Maybe I should preview the college basketball game, and I think I should talk a little soccer here with a great card. EPL, Serie A, both those leagues in action. African Cup of Unders continues as well on Saturday, so should be an awesome sports betting day here this weekend with some great games and great matchups. And I know everyone's starting to focus in as well with the World Juniors hockey right now too. So another great event here getting started over the weekend here right now. So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me here on the World Hockey Juniors. You know what I mean? The under 20s here. So, all right, that's going to do it for me here. Oops, and my graphic was wrong there the whole time on that game. Oh, man, that's all right. Oh, God. Still can't fix it. Show's over, everybody. Hey, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at our premium picks over there at Tony's Picks. You can use the promo code TonyT at checkout, save 15% off all premium pick packages. Check me out. Get my 3-day all sports pass for just $99. Going to have a lot of plays here, especially with the college basketball heating back up here on Sunday in particular and Monday. So let's ride all the way through this holiday weekend. Treat your man here. Hey, I've got coming up tomorrow night here on Night Moves. You'll ride with me as I complete another trip around the sun. So you better be here and join me tomorrow. You got to be here for that midnight countdown with me here tomorrow night. Better be here. All right, that's going to do it for Night Moves. Good to see Sports Fan in there as well. Greg had some good plays there. Timmy, thank you. And that's going to do it here for Night Moves for Saturday. And what a day it's going to be. All right. And join me back here tomorrow as we'll get the festivities started sometime. Whoops, where'd I go? See if the festivities started sometime before 3 a.m. Eastern and midnight Pacific. Here, a lot to go through here on this one. So thanks for waiting for me. Really proud to have all of you here. Don't forget, check out the Tony's Picks Morning Show tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Because Tony will have some panelists going over the great card here on Saturday. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves.